Hey guys, it's Jess. Today we're going to talk about how we built this natural shade wall under our pergola and all of the things that it provides us besides shade. Alright guys, welcome to our natural shade wall. This is very much still in progress. We planted these probably the end of May, beginning of June. So they've only been in the ground for about 2 months and they're doing fantastic. So when we were deciding what plant to use on our natural shade wall, there's obviously all sorts of vining plants that you can choose from. The criteria for us was 1, that it was native to our area, and 2, that it's multi-purpose. So this muscadine grape is native to North Carolina. They're native to the Southeast in general, and they provide fruit. So this really ticked the boxes for us. There's a bunch of different varieties of muscadine grapes that you can get. We went with the Carlos, which is what this is. When the grapes are ready to harvest, they're like a bronzish color. So they make like white wine, white grape juice, etc., etc. Part of the reason we got them is because they have a pretty good sugar content, like 16% sugar, but the most important reason is that they're self-pollinating. So a lot of muscadine varieties, you have to get multiple different types of muscadines planted so that they can like pollinate each other. Carlos aren't that way. They're self-pollinating, which is great, especially when we're going for like the winemaking thing, because winemaking is already kind of like a weird, complex process. At least it seems so to me. So to not have to make wine with multiple different types of grapes, just have one type of grape, find a good system and go straight through. That's the plan, and that's what we're going to do. We've actually found wild muscadines growing at our friend's house, and their grapes are about the same size as ours. So even though our vines are a lot younger and they're just now starting to establish themselves, they're producing fruit already in the first year that we've had them. All right guys, the AC just kicked on, but I think you're going to be able to hear me over that. What we're going to talk about now is how to maintain these. It looks a little bit unruly. It could look a little bit daunting. It did to me at first, but day to day, taking care of muscadines is super easy, especially if you live where they grow naturally. So we come out once a day and water these things, and I'll come out and I'll try to train some of these vines to grow up the support structure that I have so graciously provided them. They are grapes. They don't have eyeballs, so they don't know where they're going. So they need a little bit of help. So these little tendrils reach and investigate, and if I did a time lapse, you would see them going like this all day. And they try to find something, and they might find your patio furniture, you know, or they might find like your gutter or something that you don't want them growing up. So it's important to come out here and train these things. So train the vines when you pass by, water them, weed. Digging them in super easy, especially if you're in North Carolina. If you live where they grow naturally, you don't have to do a bunch of crazy stuff to your soil. Just plant them in your backyard. I promise you they're going to grow. We mulch just because we're on an incline that oddly enough pushes all of the water toward the neighbor's yard. So we mulched and we put this cute little decorative border around it because the previous owner left a bunch of bricks in the shed that they weren't doing anything with. So we put them to use. And then the last piece of maintenance that you have to do with muscadines that we haven't had to do yet because we haven't had them in the ground long enough is pruning during the winter. So in the fall, you're done harvesting all your muscadines. You've got everything you're going to get out of them. The weather is getting colder, temperatures starting to drop. It's time to prune. You'll want to prune them all the way down to these main stems. Not like green vines, but main stems, and the reason why is because you won't get new growth next year off of the old growth from last year. So next year, if we want a bigger harvest, we're going to have to prune these things down, and depending on where you grow them, it could be challenging to prune them down. I wouldn't worry too much about it because in nature there's nobody coming around pruning them, and they still produce grapes in the wild. So but if you want to maximize your 200-gallon of homemade wine limit in the state of North Carolina, you know what I mean? You're going to want to prune these things down. You're going to want to maximize your growth every year. So that's it for maintenance. Let's cut to some B-roll. Alright guys, that's about it. Short video. because this is simple. Muscadine grapes grow naturally in a large portion of the United States, so you don't need to fuss with them too much. They kind of just do their thing. Join us again in the fall when we harvest these things, and I learned how to make wine. And if you're going to do something in your backyard homestead, I would always recommend that it's dual purpose. So this is providing us with shade, with vibes, and with juice, wine, jellies, whatever. And if you have more questions about the maximum amount of allowable homemade alcohol in your residence, ask somebody else. I'm not your guy because I'm not a lawyer, but if you drop your questions in the comments, maybe a lawyer will answer them for you. So keep watching, stay tuned, subscribe, all the things. I might drop a video next week, I might not, who knows?